Rodrigo Martineli, founder and CEO of Career Ladder Institute, author of The 7 Steps of Your Career Ladder. This book will be publicly available for pre-order on September 26th and for order on October 6th, 2017. Available at Amazon and Kindle for now. The book is about how you structure your career through a series of 7 experiences where you will go into a deep reflection process to understand better about you, about what you want to do in your life, and use some of the techniques to find one big concept that we have, that is the North Star, and how you achieve your success definition. The book gives you an idea about how to do it, and also all the framework to follow your journey, right? So that's kind of what is the book about. So the point of view of the book is what I tried to do was to mix a story of Robert, and Robert is a combination of my multiple mentees that I had since 2009 through the program, and some concepts. So it is a mix of a story with real examples through the concepts of the book. So I think of course it is a non-fiction book, but at the same time what happens is we give you things to do right now about your career that will resonate very well when you look Robert's story. Once you read this book, what you're gonna find is, number one, you will be able to create a useful career plan. Something that is not a template. Something that you can learn the concept and make it happen by yourself without a template. The second thing that you're going to learn is, for you, each of us has a different success definition. And what you're going to learn is that through these exercises, through the 7 steps, you will learn more about you and understand what is your success definition, because each of us have a different one. And the third is, the concept is too solid that you will use one time and you will be able to recycle it. After you take the next step in your career, you will be able to go back to the book and learn again, because it has simple language. What I've done is we created a way to make a complex concept into very simple words, making the read lovable and at the same time giving you space for reflection. And that's the key what we want. We want the reader get deep into the reflection process, simulating what we do with our program. Absolutely, it is easy to read, fun and rewarding. When you reach the end of the book, you will want to go back and read again. I deliver the promise of the book through a framework. So each step will give the reader an experience to learn more about his or her career and life. So through this sequence into a deep reflection process, they will learn more about it, and also they will be able to put these quick tips and all the actions in play right now. So at the end of the book, they will have a full career plan, not for the next career move, but so forth. And as I said before, we can just come back and this will be a framework that you're going to use multiple times. I was very surprised about how the Robert story got very engaged with the book. In fact, talking with my editor, he was kind of Rodrigo, this got very nice, because it was a challenge for me. I had almost 35 mentees in 9 years, and what I was trying to do was to give real samples of their lives into Robert, and I was surprised at how that came true, because Robert was able to combine mostly of the experiences and making this a very resonating story and compelling for the reader. So for me, that was the biggest surprise in the book. I did learn a lot about myself writing the book. One of the things that it's maybe is a curious fact, I had to write a book mostly after 11 p.m. And I was able to work through like 3-4 hours into the other day writing. And when I started to create the chapter, this was just evolving like very smoothly. So I learned it. I knew that I was like a guy, a night hawk, something like that. I learned it that I excel my performance when I am quiet. And I spoke with other people about these isolation moments, and for some people works very well to boost performance. So my favorite part through the 7 steps of this book is the North Star. And I'll tell you why. The North Star concept is nothing but a goal. But I put into the context of the 7 steps. What happens is when you are reading a book, you will start with a reflection process. So we're going to trigger the reflection process at the beginning, and each step will move you to a different process. We're going to increase the reflection process into your mind. When we get to the 4th step, that is the North Star, you will just be amazed about how important is the concept, and you will understand why you need to set a North Star. And the North Star is nothing but the success definition at the end of your career. And this will make the total difference for you, because when you know where you want to be, nothing can stop you, because you have full control of your career and your life. Something that I say always, that it is the 2 sides of the same coin, career and life. And most of people, try to distinguish these 2 sides, but you can't. So career and life are part of the same thing. So the North Star gives a goal, the importance of to have an objective, but not just a short or mid-term objective, a long-term objective that you build upon it. Writing this book and completing this book and launching it, it is rewarding. So makes me so happy, because it's something that I'm living as a legacy. The idea of the book was I wanted to make the information available, this knowledge that took me years and years to build through the program, to more and more people as I could. And I found that the book would be a great way to spread the message, because then I can make the book available all over the globe, and that's kind of what I was looking for. So having the book, it is one of the most rewarding things for my professional career. So I think I am very accomplished as an executive, and the missing part was what I'm giving it back. And I think the book is a great way to leave a legacy. I would like to, my perfect reader would be professionals, probably between their second job up to, like their 3 or 4 last cycles of their career. The book gives a lot of foundation for you to build your career. So whatever you are doing right now, whatever you are into your career, you need to know first who you are, the next steps, and the North Star, right? Once you know that, you can work through your career and make that happen, because the book will give tools for the reader to take over their career and not let the company decide what they need to do next, and they will take control of that. So usually some people think that who is responsible for your career is the company, and the company is not responsible for their career development. The company is responsible to give tools for your development. Now, how do you know what you want to develop, what you need to grow, if you don't know where you want to be? And that's the difference. So I think that's really the path that I'm looking for to have readers execute through the steps. So the importance of this book for me and for everybody is that I am on a mission. And my mission is to help people. My mission is to make sure people get out of their comfort zone and understand that while they have a job, everything is okay. They are in the comfort zone, right? So I don't need to care about career management. I don't need to think about develop my career because I have a job. Now, when you lose a job for any reason, layoff, termination, whatever, you just get into a situation where desperation emerges. So the idea of the book was to make available information about how it is important for you to manage your career and give tools for them to understand that they don't need to act on career management after they leave their jobs. They need to act on career management right now while they can. If that happens, as I had many mentees that unfortunately had the layoff in the middle of the process, they now have full control of their career, and they call me and say, now I'm looking for the job that fits my career plan and not the job that is available on the market. Because when desperation comes, what happens is, one, you don't understand your market value, and two, you are so desperate to make money for your house that you are applying for any jobs, and that's not what we should be doing. You should have focus on what you want, because it doesn't matter if you had to make a turn, the destination is the same. That's why it's so important you have the destination set. So the legacy and the mission is to make sure people understand, get out of your comfort zone. Even though if you are very successful, if you have a job, you should have career management. You should take control of your career because you are the owner of your destination. You as a reader will earn a lot of knowledge through this book. You will learn quick tips to make at your day, to implement right now, that are called 7 Career Essentials. Those 7 things are spread into the book. Small tips that you can implement right now. Also, you're going to learn the 7 steps, the 7 unique experiences where you're going to get into a reflection process to understand more about you, your career, your life, and so forth. Also, what you're going to learn is I've added a lot of other information like types of intelligence, types of personality, because it is very important for you to understand that one thing it is your personality and another thing it is the situations that you are in. Also, the difference between your type of intelligence, because types of intelligence are very important because tells how we react to things. Likely, if you are an engineer, most likely you have a logical analytical type of intelligence, and that's the way that you're going to react to things. So when you start to think about all this together, the 7 career essentials, the 7 experiences through the 7 steps, the types of intelligence, and the personality versus situation, you will learn a lot, and then you're going to apply this through your career and absolutely through your entire life. So this book basically can help you in 3 moments of your life. Number 1, you are in the middle of a turning point. You want to do something different in your life and you don't know what. So you are unhappy with your job, or you don't know what's next. So that's the time when you need to read this book and understand how you can structure a plan for that. The second moment is when you are unemployed. When you had a cut into your career and now you need just to do something, right? So this book will give you clarity about how you can structure and beyond understand, the next steps and your future, your career, North Star. It will help also to understand what is your next move. Because as I normally say, if you get into the desperation, you start to apply to any job and then you don't know what's next. The third moment that this book will help you is when you are far away in your career and you don't know what's next. So maybe you will have just 2 or 3 more career moves until you retire and you don't know what's next. So this book will give you the guide to make sure you pick the right choice for your next career move, because again, you have just a few more and then you're going to be retired. If you are unhappy with your job, this shouldn't be this way, right? So maybe you are working too many hours, or the schedule of the day is not helping you to get together with your family, or you don't like your boss or anything like that. This shouldn't be this way. You should know what is your strengths, what is your weaknesses, and what is your next steps, either to move from this organization, from this job to another thing, or look for something else in the marketplace. One of the things that you will learn is that each of us has a value at the marketplace, and we don't think about it. We are doing a job title, and job titles are very scary because, likely, let me just give a sample for you. An account manager in a company can be a P&L owner, in another company can be a salesman. So when you look at LinkedIn and you are looking for a job, an account manager in one company can be a completely different role, or other that is very famous is the business manager, business operations. I mean, these titles are so scary. So what is your true value? Most likely, in your mindset inside your company, you're just thinking, what's my next job up? And what this book gives to you is open up your mind to understand that, one, there is not only one path for growth. Two, you have a market value, and what is that? And this will guide you and help you find what's next for your life. And doesn't matter, can be inside or outside. But all options are available because you know what you're gonna do, but you need something to help structure this answer, and this book will give this answer for you. If you are unemployed, you just got laid off, this book will give you useful information. First, at this moment, tough moments, we grow. During tough moments, we learn a lot about ourselves. The first 3 steps will give you important information about you. The next 4 steps, the step number 4, 5, and 6, and 7, will give you guide. Will guide you about what's next in your life. Desperation is something very normal when you lose your job, for any reason. So this book will give you a map, a GPS, guiding you what are the stops you need to do to find a new job. Because again, if you don't have any more value for that company, doesn't mean that you don't have value for the marketplace. Doesn't mean that you are a failure. You are not. Your strengths are unique. Each of us have unique strengths. So maybe you don't realize it. This book, through the reflection process, through the framework, will give you tools to find what are your strengths and where you should be looking for a new job. A job that fits you, not something that you just need to do to pay the bills. That's basic needs. Let's differentiate that. Where you can get the most benefit working and sparking your light elsewhere, that's the place that you should be. And this book will give you that, because desperation is not an option. If you are a senior and a seasoned executive or employee in a company, most likely you might think, okay, so I have 3 or 4 more career moves, and I've been a senior analyst or senior manager for 20 years. So what's next in my life, right? So what is my next career move? I don't have a lot of time, but I want to make my career meaningful. How do I do it? This book will give you a path, will give you a sequence to help you understand what you've done in your life. and what is your marketplace value for what you have in your mind. You have a lot of experience. You have a lot of knowledge of specific things. Maybe you are specialized in something, or maybe you are a generalist, but you have a lot of experience. So it is a matter of organize this into a plan, a useful plan, telling you what's next. So I think you will be surprised about everything that is inside you that just need a little bit of guidance to get out and form a plan. And then you will be able to execute exactly what you want and make sure that these next 3 or 4 career moves are meaningful and will be rewarding, because one day you'll say, I'm ready to retire and I am accomplished. Think about it. This can help you make this happen. Don't lose the chance. Go through it. And again, pursue your success. Doesn't matter how old you are or how seasoned you are, you always have your chance to make it happen. The introduction of the 7 steps of your career ladder gives you an overview about everything that's going to happen. We talk about how the steps are organized. We talk about the call to action. So each of the steps, in fact, are experiences. In the end of the chapter, I have a call to action for you to execute the experience. Go and do the exercise. That will help you start the reflection process. So the introduction gives you an overview about it and introduce Robert. So Robert is a combination of all my mentees throughout these years with real things. Everything that happens with Robert is true. So this was like a little bit of challenge, but I wanted to make sure, when you read the introduction, you understand what's coming on. And I think this lays off very well how the book will go. So let me tell you something. The 7 Steps of Your Career Ladder book is just the beginning. When you go and visit our careerladderinstitute.com webpage, you will find several programs. And I know one of these programs can help you achieve the next stage. Either if you are looking for a career development or understand how companies are getting ready for millennials or Generation Z, or how we can turn leaders into mentors, because that's a need for the marketplace. The book is just the beginning. The rich concepts that are inside the book can help be the foundation of several programs, and that's kind of what we've done at Career Ladder Institute. We created other programs using the same foundation to make, like I said, leaders into mentors, help millennials and companies about how to accommodate the Generation Z. So Career Ladder Institute is here just not to talk about this book. We have videos, we have free content available to help you take the next step in your career. One particular story that I like of the book is when Robert finally got set his North Star. And then he was coming to meet me for our session, and he was notified that his boss left the position and went to another department, and one of his enemies took over. And he was so frustrated with me, saying, Rodrigo, what happens now? This was my North Star, and right now the guy that I did not like, because it's completely normal, so we don't need to like everybody, and this particular guy he did not like. And I said, look, have you ever thought about talk with executives in the customer facing organization? And he said, well, yes, but they will not listen to me. And I said, why not? So go and have a conversation with them. The outcome of this story is that Robert did go to talk with them, and guess what? They had a job for him. and he moved it for something that was part of his career plan. I mean, it was together with his progression towards his North Star. And believe me, that's a true story that happened with one of my mentees. So it is fantastic how I was able to put this in play, and this was one of the far most interesting stories into the book. Another mentee that I had, she had a very different situation. She was kind of lost, and she did go through the program, and the job, the effort, I mean, everything was wrong. And one day she calls me and say, Rodrigo, I want to leave my job. And I say, why? Why you want that? And then she told me all the reasons, and I said, look, wait a minute. And let me pause there. Every time that somebody calls you to give like they are not looking for an opinion. They are looking for acknowledgement. That's the way that our brain works. So it's likely I call you and I say, I want to fire this guy, and what I want you to say is, go for it, do it. Or I want to buy tickets for this concert, let's buy it. I want to, let's go and grab some beers. Yes, it's always acknowledgement that we are looking for. We are not looking for opinion. And what I do as a mentor, I just come back to them and say, look, here's what's going on. If you do this, here are the pros and here are the cons. You take the decision. So what happened with her is I told her, and she did go like a radio silent for 1 week, and she calls me back and say, I'm done. I did everything that you told me. Everything is sorted out, and now I really want to do it. So see, I didn't tell her do it or don't do it. I told her everything that she should be accounting before taking a decision, and that helped her to have a solid foundation for the decision. And that's kind of what I think it's the beauty of this program. When you read the book, you will get all these concepts, and the things that maybe is a question mark will be a decision for you, because you will have a framework backing up you and telling you all these wonderful things that you need to learn about yourself and, of course, your career and your life. Another mentee that I had, we discussed about focus. One day he calls me and say, hey Rodrigo, I want to talk to you because I want to look for a different job. And I say, okay, that's okay, no problem, let's have a conversation. When we start, he tells me like probably 8 or 10 different roles that he was pursuing. And I am kind of no man, that's not an option. Why you were pursuing 10 things? Because he was in desperation mode. He wanted so badly to leave his job. And then I said, so why don't you come and have the program with me for us to understand what's next in your career? So we start to talk about it, and believe it or not, we downsized all these 10 different things into 3 different roles. And guess what? He found a job in one of the 3. Because he was laser focused on what he was pursuing, and it's not kind of on desperation mode that whatever somebody wants me to do, I am there. And that's another great story of my mentees that you can extract from the book as well.